All right, last week we started looking at categories of plants, and we also looked at the different structures of plants, and we talked a little bit about plants' life cycles. Everyone should have their science book on page 168. If you, for some reason, don't have your science book, you should be looking on with a neighbor or making sure you are looking at the screen as we read through this. All right. Animal characteristics. So animals have different physical characteristics. For example, some have fur. Others have feathers or scales. Some have 4 legs, so others have 2. These physical characteristics make up an animal's body structure. Most parts of an animal's body structure have a function. The functions of an animal's body structure help the animal survive in its environment. For example, prairie dogs live in grasslands. Animals that hunt prairie dogs can spot them easily. Prairie dogs protect themselves by digging holes called burrows in the ground. This makes them harder to see. They sleep and raise their babies in the burrows. Their long, sharp claws help them dig. Prairie dogs can stand straight up on their back legs. This body structure helps them spot danger from a safe distance. Red-bellied woodpeckers live in the forest. They have 2 front toes and 2 back toes. This foot structure helps them climb tree trunks. Their long, sharp beaks help them peck holes into the trunks. The holes become their nests. They use their very long tongues to catch insects for food.
And how they do that is they use their beaks and they peck really hard into the wood. And whenever it gets in there, they start to eat some grubs. I hear those a lot in my woods. Kind of annoys me, but I like hearing the woodpeckers. Because, that's because those little insects are actually infecting the trees.
Right, absolutely.
I love woodpeckers. I've seen one. They're vicious. I've held one.
That's all.
My hand dog. I got both my hands.
3, 2, 1. Classifying animals. So animals are classified in groups based on their characteristics. One characteristic used to classify animals is how they look. Scientists identify physical characteristics such as short fur or long ears to group animals. Scientists also use characteristics inside animals' bodies to classify them. Animals can be classified by where they live. For example, desert animals can be one group. Animals of the rainforest can be another. Some animals live in trees. Others live in the salty ocean. Animals can also be classified by how they act. Some animals, such as mountain lions, hunt other animals to eat them. Other animals eat only plants. Some animals move from one place to another at certain times of the year. The way animals behave or act are behavioral characteristics. One animal can be placed into different groups. For example, a group of animals that eat mice can include snakes, hawks, and owls. A group of animals that fly can include hawks and owls, but not snakes.
And they call those flocks.
Characteristics are passed on from parents to their offspring. A characteristic passed on to a living thing from its parents is called a trait. Scientists classify animals based on their traits. Traits include physical and behavioral characteristics. All right, one major classification of animals has to do with whether or not an animal has a backbone. If an animal has a backbone, it is considered a vertebrate. If an animal does not have a backbone, it is considered an invertebrate. In is a prefix that means not or no. So if we talk about an invertebrate, that means no backbone. All right? So, but first we're going to talk about vertebrates or vertebrate. One main trait scientists use to classify animals is whether or not they have a backbone.
And a backbone is like a spine or something?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And snakes, they're invertebrates, right?
Nope, they have a backbone. They're all backbone.
Oh, yeah, because
What do
yeah,
you
they
tell
say
me?
slither.
They're 100% backbone.
No, what do you
Backbone and skull.
So what is not an invertebrate?
So, like for example, a clam
Oh yeah, clams don't have that.
or a crab,
Or a jellyfish.
or
Or fish.
well, most fish have backbones.
Yeah.
Um,
People have backbones.
okay, snail would be an invertebrate. Any kind of insect would be an invertebrate. Any kind of arachnid would be an invertebrate. Most mollusks or
Sea stars.
yes, those all would be
Dogs have a backbone.
invertebrates. All right. So an animal with a backbone is called a vertebrate. For example, cats, birds, and fish are vertebrates. Vertebrates may look different, but they all have a backbone and other bones. Bones grow as animals grow. Bones support the body. This allows some vertebrates to grow very big. Bless you. So, groups of vertebrates. Fish are vertebrates that live in water. Most fish have slippery scales, breathe through gills, and lay eggs. Fish are cold-blooded vertebrates. Cold-blooded animals do not make their own body heat. Excuse me. Huh?
Yep, show can.
Amphibians. They are cold-blooded vertebrates. They have smooth, moist skin. They hatch from eggs. Frogs, toads, and salamanders are amphibians. Most young amphibians live in water. They get oxygen, through their gills and skin. Most amphibians develop lungs to breathe air out of the water.
Wait a minute, so frogs have lungs?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Amphibians have lungs and gills.
I
So
never
they
knew
can
that.
so they can stay underwater forever, and they can stay on land forever. Without having to go back
Something with
and
scales.
Mhm.
Reptile or something with scales.
Yeah, Komodo dragon.
So, reptiles, snakes, lizards, turtles, and crocodiles are reptiles. Reptiles are cold-blooded vertebrates. They have dry, scaly skin. They breathe air through lungs. Most reptiles lay eggs. Birds. Birds are warm-blooded vertebrates. Warm-blooded animals make their own body heat. Feathers help birds stay warm. Wings and light bones help most birds fly. They breathe air through lungs. All birds hatch from eggs. And then mammals. The vertebrates you probably know best are mammals. Mammals are warm-blooded vertebrates. They usually have hair that keeps them warm. Mammals breathe air through lungs and feed milk to their young.
Mammals do not lay eggs.
Right. Most mammals are born alive instead of hatching from eggs.
Wait a minute. So
We are mammals.
We are mammals.
is there platypuses? Are they
They're vertebrates.
they're mammals too, right?
What is?
They're marsupials.
Well, no, are they invertebrate?
No,
They
they are vertebrates.
So but do they lay eggs?
I'm not sure. They got something funky going on. I know they have a pouch.
They also have a
Platypus.
I'm pretty sure.
What's
Platypi.
I heard someone in my old school say that platypus are the only mammals that lay eggs.
They're not a mammal. They're a marsupial, which is a type of mammal, I think. I don't know.
They also have this thing on their claw that can poison them.
Oh, I don't like that. Okay. Ew. Look. Blech. All right. So, animals without backbone. Most animals do not have bones or skeletons inside their bodies.
So they just have exoskeletons.
Exactly. Animals without backbones are called invertebrates.
But animals without backbones are called invertebrates.
Sea stars, butterflies, and spiders are invertebrates. Invertebrates have structures other than bones to give them their shape.
Who doesn't like that?
Oh,
Adorable.
that's disgusting. A soft,
Black widow at my house.
I used to have a pet.
ladies and gentlemen,
This is his tongue.
a soft sac filled with liquid supports worms and sea jellies. Stay focused on your text. A hard shell supports clams and lobsters. Insects have a hard covering on the outside of their bodies. These kinds of structures cannot support very big animals. Most invertebrates are smaller than most vertebrates. Please stop talking. You may not notice some invertebrates because many are very small. Yet invertebrates live all over Earth. In fact, there are many more invertebrates than vertebrates. For example, several million tiny roundworms may live in 1 square meter of soil. Yuck. All right. Tomorrow we are going to continue discussing invertebrates and the different ways that animals give birth to their young.
Give birth.